Hi, my name is Miss Fiercalicious, and today I'm going to be showing you a full step-by-step drag transformation. First, we're going to start with the brows. I'm going to get some brow gel and lay these brow hairs flat. So I'm rubbing in the product against the grain that the hair grows, just so that it completely soaks the hair, and then I can lay them completely flat like that. I'm gonna use a spoolie on my brush and brush these upwards. And now I'm gonna use a blow dryer to speed up the drying process. All right, so now I can actually draw my brows. So I like to shave the ends of my brows off so it gives me more space to draw them higher, which lets me play with more eyeshadow. I'm gonna use a dip brow and extend my natural brows and draw them a little bit higher. And remember that eyebrows are sisters, not twins, so they don't have to be completely perfect. I'm gonna use a concealer now and carve the shape of my brow. Instead of going in like one big swipe, like try to go like piece by piece when you're carving it out, just so you can be more precise. This is just allowing you to have a more clean line and have a more crisp brow shape. And I like to use a concealer shade that's lighter than my skin tone, because I'm also going to use this as a base for my eyeshadow. So something very bright, which will allow the colors of my eyeshadow to pop. And it also gives you a nice like brow bone highlight. Everywhere that I just put the concealer, I'm gonna set it with eyeshadow so it doesn't budge. Now I'm gonna use a little brow pen and just draw in some extra little hairs. Next, I'm gonna show you how I do my foundation. So first things first, I'm gonna moisturize and prime my face, just to have a nice base so that everything can blend together smoothly. I'm going in with my moisturizer first to add some moisture to the face. And now I'm gonna use a primer to help fill in any pores and also to create a nice base for the foundation to have something to stick to so that it doesn't budge throughout the day. Now I'm gonna go in with an orange concealer to color correct. So if you have facial hair or any discoloration on your skin, you can use an orange concealer to help contrast the tones. Because if you just put foundation over it, you're gonna see a lot of blue tones underneath, and orange is the opposite of blue. If you put the two together, it neutralizes everything. I'm just gonna use this concealer all over my beard area, and then I'm gonna blend it out with my fingers. And if you have any dark circles under your eyes, you can use a little bit there as well. Okay, and now everywhere that I just put the concealer, I'm gonna set it with powder so that when I put the foundation over it, it doesn't mix with the orange concealer. All right, now that my face is color corrected, I can go in with some foundation over everything. I like to use a foundation brush because it provides more coverage and doesn't soak up as much product. When you're using a brush, make sure not to pull your face, because otherwise you're gonna see little streaks of paint across your face. Just kind of just buffer it into the skin. And make sure to blend down your neck, because nobody likes having a mask on their face. So now that everything's blended nicely, I'm gonna set everything with powder. So I like to use 2 shades of setting powder. I like to use a white for my highlight areas, and then more of a warmer tone for wherever my skin is, the rest of my skin, just to create more dimension in the face. I know this is a lot of powder, but drag makeup is intense and you really want to set it, because when you're on stage performing, you don't want anything sweating off. So make sure to really put a lot of powder and really press it into the skin to set all the makeup. Okay, so now I'm gonna press the powder into my skin, and then I'll dust it all off. Anywhere that you put a cream product, you always want to set it with powder after so that it doesn't budge. Now I'm going to be talking about my highlight and contour routine. So to highlight, I'm going to use a powder foundation that's a few shades lighter than my skin tone, just to bring the high points of my face more forward. I'm going to use this powder foundation under my eyes, pretty much all the same places that I used my concealer, but now I'm gonna use the powder just to add more dimension, because after setting it, it kind of lost a bit of that dimension. So I'm gonna be placing this under my eyes, on my cheeks, just just on the high points of my cheeks just to bring them a bit more forward. I'm gonna place a bit under my cheekbones because once I contour, it's gonna help bring that contour more forward. And as well in the center of my forehead. And I'm also gonna place it down the bridge of my nose. And now to add even more dimension with the highlight, I'm gonna go in with a white eyeshadow and just do it at like the very high point. So I'm gonna put it in the inner corners of my eyes just to draw the attention to my eyes, and a bit in the center of my forehead, a bit on my chin, and a bit on my upper lip. Okay, and now to contour, I'm actually gonna use a bronzer just on my cheeks and my forehead. The thing with bronzer is it adds warmth to the face, and sometimes when you're contouring, you want to use a cool tone color to actually create a shadow. But on the cheeks, I find that a bronzer looks very nice. It adds like a bit of a contour, but also adds a little bit of warmth to the face. So I'm gonna use it on the perimeter of my forehead. And then I'm gonna use it under my cheekbones, a bit on my cheeks as well, just to add a little bit of warmth. And I'm gonna go under the jaw as well. And now to add even more dimension, I'm gonna go in with a darker bronzer shade and just go under my cheekbones. For my nose contour, I'm gonna use a cool tone shade to actually create a shadow, because if you use a bronzer, it's just gonna attract too much attention to the nose and it won't look like a shadow. So to create that really snatched nose, you wanna try to make the bridge of your nose as small as possible. So if you make your contours too wide, you can have the opposite effect and make your nose look larger or wider. Just to clean up these contours, I'm gonna take some of my setting powder and I'm gonna place them along the bridge of my nose where my contours were, and also under my cheekbones. Now I'm gonna show you how I blush and highlight. So I like to be really excessive with my blush. It depends like how you want to look. Like you can just put the blush on, you know, on the cheeks for a more chiseled look, but I like to go all over the cheek with my blush. So like honestly, even like a bit under the under eyes. Just be careful with your placement. It all depends on your face shape and the overall goal you're trying to achieve, but I like using a lot of blush because it makes you look more youthful. And I'm gonna use a few different shades of blush, and I'm gonna place them differently just to create some dimension with the blush. Now that my blush is down, I'm going to take my highlighter. And I'm gonna place this on top of my cheekbones just to make them pop. Now I'm gonna take this highlighter and I'm also going to highlight the bridge of my nose. I'm gonna do a little dot on the tip just to create a little button nose effect. I'm also gonna use this highlighter and I'm gonna highlight my brow bone. Now I'm gonna show you how I do my eyes. So since I've already done my foundation, I'm going to use some setting powder and just put it under my eyes, just so if any fallout from my eyeshadow comes out, it's not gonna ruin my whole face. Okay, so today I'm gonna do a little pink, smoky cat eye. First, I'm going to go in with a flat brush and I'm gonna go in with a pink eyeshadow and I'm gonna trace the shape that I want. So I'm gonna start at the end of the eye and I'm just gonna go upward and create that little cat eye effect. And now I'm gonna go in from the inner corner and just connect it all together and create the shape that I want. Okay, so now that I have that shape traced out, I'm going to take a little small blending brush and I'm gonna blend out that shadow. So I'm gonna take a bit of that white cream on my brush. I'm just gonna do very small strokes and cut my crease and just clean up those edges. All right, now everywhere where I just placed that white cream, I'm gonna set it with a white eyeshadow. Now that everything is set, I'm gonna go in with some glitter. So I'm gonna use some lash glue and I'm just gonna place it everywhere where I wanna set the glitter. I'm gonna let it dry and get tacky and then I'm gonna put the glitter on top. Okay, now I'm gonna let that glue dry a bit and then get a little tacky and then go in with my glitter. And I'm gonna get a flat brush and grab my glitter with it and just place it everywhere where I placed that glue. All right, now that my glitter is down, I'm going to do my eyeliner. So I'm just going to use a nice eyeliner pen. So I'm gonna draw a very thin line, and then I'm gonna start from kind of like the middle and connect that to the center of my eye. All right, now that I'm done with the upper part of my eyes, I'm gonna dust off the powder and finish my lower eyes. So using this flat brush again, I'm going to go under my eyes and kind of just extend the bottom a bit. I'm gonna use a purple shade for this just to add a little pop of color. And I'm gonna go under my eyes and blend that in. Now I'm gonna go in with a white liner and extend the outer and inner corners of my eye. Now I'm gonna go in with some mascara and coat my lashes. Now I'm gonna apply my false lashes. And the secret with this is to apply the glue and then wait like a minute for it to dry and get tacky, because if you just apply the glue and then put it right on your eyes, the glue's gonna be wet and the lash is not gonna stay and it's gonna start drooping. And also really make sure to coat the outer and inner corners of your lash band, because those are typically the areas that start to lift. Now that my glue's gotten tacky, I'm gonna place on these lashes. And to create kind of a winged eye, I'm going to kind of leave the outer corner a little more lifted. It's not exactly on my eyelid, but because I have the eyeliner there as well, it kind of creates the illusion that my eyes are more lifted. Now I'm gonna show you how I do my lips. So I'm going to use 2 shades of liquid lipstick to create some dimension with my lips. So I'm gonna overline them. And now I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to blend in that darker shade inwards to my lips, just so the lighter shades has somewhere to blend into. Now using that lighter shade, I'm going to put that in the center of my lips. My name is Miss Fiercalicious, and this was my drag makeup routine.